For me, effective delegation is the process of ensuring that the right work is given to and done by the right person. Poor delegation is when managers do not give the right work. One mortal sin of managers is doing what they could delegate and delegating what they should be doing themselves. There are three kinds of work that we can delegate. First, all technical work can be delegated. The exceptions are tasks that require a higher supervisory level of skills, like creation of reports and creating recommendations, or presenting to upper management. Next, all routine and repetitive work can be delegated. Imagine data encoding, filing and archiving, receiving and handling inquiries, processing requests and customer service work. If it's routine, then we can develop a process on how to perform it and equip others to perform the process. Third, we can also delegate emergency work or crisis management tasks that others are trained to handle. Examples are handling customer complaints and escalations. We can delegate them only if people are trained. In fact, this applies to a lot of skills. You can actually delegate what you train people on. That's the exponential effect and benefit of training and developing people. You're able to expand their skill sets so that they can assume more and more challenging work, which enriches their careers. There are 5 kinds of work that should not be delegated. Some technical work, like confidential tasks, disciplinary action, or legal related, should not be delegated. Can you imagine a team leader telling a specialist, go and issue a suspension to one of your peers? We should not delegate work that an employee cannot do. We are just setting up the employee for failure. We should not delegate solving problems related to the overall situation of the team, such as attrition or failure to meet metrics. Yes, we can get inputs and suggestions, but we should not delegate decision-making or making final approvals. Last, we should not delegate emergency or crisis management work that others are not trained to handle. Even if managers know that they can delegate tasks, some struggle to delegate for various reasons. Common reasons for non-delegation are best captured in these dialogues. If I delegate tasks, my boss will think I'm not doing anything. If my subordinates can do it as well as I can, I might lose my job. I don't have time to explain things to people. I need results now. I can't risk it. My subordinates might make mistakes. I need to get the job done right. My subordinates will dislike me for being a slave driver. Your assignment is to do 2 things with each of these lines. First, determine the underlying belief represented by each statement. For example, what is the underlying belief in statement number 5? My people will dislike me for being a slave driver. Then for each one, propose an alternative, more positive, more accurate belief that will encourage managers to delegate more. Prepare your answers. We will discuss them in the virtual class. Now you know what you can and what you should not delegate. You need to do some planning. Your participant manual includes 5 reminders before you delegate. I'd like you to prepare your own examples, real-life stories, validating each of these 5 reminders. Be ready to share them in the virtual class. So you can really cover all bases and thoroughly prepare for your delegation. Consider the 8 questions in planning the delegation. Number 1, what are the objectives of the task? What are we trying to achieve? 2, when should it be completed? When's the deadline? This is something that leaders often miss. ASAP, or as soon as possible, or I needed it yesterday, are not deadlines. A deadline is a specific date and time. Number 3, what standards should be met by the output? When we say that the output is acceptable, what does it really mean? Number 4, what is the level of responsibility and kind of authority that should be given? 5, what resources are needed for the tasks? 6, what is your participation or expected support in the task? And 7, what kind of feedback is needed and when? How will updates on progress be given? Will a text message suffice? Will progress reports be required? Is there a need for a face-to-face meeting? And last, who is the best worker? To guide you in selecting the best worker, here are 5 criteria. Each one corresponds to a question stated in your manual. The first criterion is logical ownership. You will create controversy and disrupt processes if you delegate, say, an HR-related task to IT or operations work to finance. The second one is interest and ability. Who has the skill and will to perform a good job? You delegate to a D4 when you cannot afford mistakes, and you delegate to a D3 because he has the expertise. The third criterion is level of challenge. You delegate a task to renew someone's excitement at work, shake one's complacency, or take a person out of his routine. The fourth one is training and development. Use delegation to provide experiential, on-the-job learning opportunities. According to research, managers learn best from stretched assignments, such as being assigned to handle a challenging team, lead a startup, or turn around performance. The fifth and last criterion is availability. This is the last resort. This means that we delegate to someone because there's no other choice. You have a warm body, not necessarily with the skill or will, but at least who can provide that extra pair of hands. We will do as much as we can with the human resources assigned to us. We may need to activate our S2 leadership style and get ready to provide high direction and high support. For our virtual class, please study the topic 6-step process of delegation and the delegation worksheet. Be ready to explain the steps and share your own personal examples in our virtual class.